Hi, this is Alan from Alpus Group. I'm going to talk to you today about 20 key factors for project success, particularly key factor number 4, the site must be available and accessible to your contractor. Alpus recommends the following 20 key factors are addressed to ensure project success, and we've reviewed in previous videos the first 3: a clear and concise project brief, risk assessment and contingency, and funding. And today's video is about site available and accessible, factor 4. So just to recap, we talked about a clear and concise project or program brief that defines the scope of works, the fundamental design parameters, the employer's or owner's requirements such as the budget cost, program time schedule, and specific operational performance requirements and quality requirements. The project or program brief should reflect the vision of the sponsor of the project or program. And we looked at this consideration of possible multiple ways to develop any particular potential development site or investment project, therefore needing market research to define what you are intending to produce as an asset at the end of the day. Usually people evaluate the options that there may be for any particular site and the available planning permission under the use classes order, that is the class of use it currently has, and any consideration for planning permission that you may need in order to develop the assets that you want if it doesn't already have permission for that class of asset. We talked about the outline and detailed planning permission that would be needed unless you already have permitted development rights under the Town and Country Planning Order 2015. In any case, whatever development you are going to carry out, you need to have building control permission. So this would be a function of the drawings, the detailed design drawings and the specifications, and getting a phased approval of the works as it progresses in accordance with the drawings. So you've decided on a particular strategy for your site, and that you either have permitted development rights or you will seek planning permission. We've talked about risk assessing the scope of work and allowing contingency within your budget funding for whatever may arise and the risks that you need to overcome and mitigate. We gave an example of a detailed breakdown of the costs where we allowed for all of the costs for acquisition and sale of the site, any consultants cost to do with the initial feasibility, design and construction costs, consultants fees, and the main contractor or specialist trade contractors costs, plus an allowance of contingency to cover for the risks that you've identified and that are quantified. So for each job the risk assessment will be different and the contingency allocation will be different, but whatever happens your funding needs to take account of the risks on the job, and therefore your funding needs to take account of the right contingency amount. So key factor 4 is the site must be available and accessible. So if you haven't already procured your site, that's secured it legally, then you must secure legal ownership of the site, or alternatively, if you're developing on a site for an owner, you need to have legal permission to develop the site from the owner. So for your contractor to be able to start work, you must give him possession of the site, and your contractor must also have access to the site. So what this means is it's no good giving the contractor a field in which he can build a number of houses for you if you don't give him the right of access to get to the field from the road. So you must ensure that you have the legal right for your contractor to start work, Now this might be a phased access, and that is possible. You can give him 50% of the site on day one, as long as he knows and agrees that that is the contract, and you can give him the balance of the site at a later date. But if you fail to grant your contractor possession of the site, or alternatively access to the site, then it can result in claims. And there are a couple of case studies that I can draw to your attention where on one particular massive mixed-use development, land needed to be reclaimed from the sea in order to form part of the site, and this area was in use by the Baku Port Authority, so the ships that were coming and going to the wharf area needed to be moved to a different location, which took an amount of time before the site was available for reclamation. So there was a decanting arrangement of the port operations from one place to another, which took a significant amount of time before it was possible to grant the contractor unencumbered access to an area to be reclaimed. And another example where the client failed to secure all the necessary land was on the Balkans Railway project, where there was necessary to acquire land adjacent to the site to carry out certain of the contract works, and the client failed to secure all this land, which resulted in some claims from the contractor. So you need to be very wary of granting a contractor access before you have the legal right, or you're absolutely certain you will have the legal right to develop the land, and that you can grant the contractor access to do that development. If you want to talk to us about any of the subjects we've discussed today or in past videos, these are our contact details: www.alpusgroup.com. Contact Alan at alpusgroup.com, that's me. My telephone number is 07539141257. If you want to book an exploratory call with me, go to https://calendly.com/alanje, or there's another link below the video where you can have a free contracts checklist, which will enable you to look at different features of different contracts. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. That's all about site acquisition and availability for the contractor. Cheers.